I need to stop Googling Cara Delevingne suits. I'm thirsting so hard. What I've learned from this is...
People are mean. Why would you want parents at your honeymoon? What?
Oh, drama. Hi, Peaches. Look who I have with me today. It's the one and only Nadia, who you know online as Jalfa Cake, but who I know as my annoying little sister.
Best person in my life.
Nadia's been staying with us. We always love making content together. As you know, she's a budding tiny little creator, a little bean. What do you make online?
I just play games. I've done some Am I the Arsehole stuff, but nowhere near as good as this queen here. But yeah, we play a bunch of games, horror games, fun games, and just have fun.
And we do have a little goal on Nadia's channel. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs by this summer. Do we think we can maybe help Nadia out?
It will be the anniversary of us starting. That'll be so cute.
And it's also the little YouTube tick box thing,
exactly.
Right? For you to become an official partner. So if you like what you see today and maybe you want to be like, that's a cool person that I want to follow and get to know more of, and maybe we're going to be doing an extreme version of Am I the Devil that Nadia has found on Nadia's channel, which should be live right now for you to click on, take a look at the... Pause this episode, open that up so that you can absolutely make sure you go check that out, and let's see if we can together create a gorgeous bubble of community. But for now, red flag, green flag, Nadia, eating on trains. How do you feel?
I take the trains a lot.
I should say eating on public transport. When people eat on public transport.
I understand people need to eat. I get the idea people need to eat. I guess, does it depend on the type of food? I guess, okay, the inside of me wants to red flag it, but I'm like, I can't tell people not to eat.
Red flag it, that's fine.
Okay, or if you responsibly and...
keep your mouth shut. Yeah. Be mindful of sounds. It's chewing sounds. What's that
sounds
thing called?
And the smells.
The smells.
Like the onion... onion crisps, onion pickle sandwich, anything onion that has strong smell. I'm sorry.
Okay, so there used to be this campaign. This is showing our age. We have like a 10-year age difference. But it's 9 years, isn't it? 9 years between us. There used to be this campaign when I would take the bus every day to school and then to work. And it said, be mindful, right, of the smell of the food that you bring on the bus. Yeah. But I think it's because, especially in the areas that I was in, there was a lot of Asian people bringing on very strong smelling aromatic foods. And there was a really big backlash towards that campaign.
I can see
of people being like, you're just being racist. Because what you're saying is don't bring curry onto a bus, but you're not saying don't bring your stinky McDonald's burger.
I would prefer curry smell than onions.
You just have an onion thing.
Yes. Eat the buttermilk chicken on the bus, I don't mind. I guess it's like, if you need to eat, fine, eat. And it also depends on how crowded the public transport is. I've brought food onto the train, but if it's like really crowded, I won't eat it until I'm in like a carriage where it's just like me and someone very far away.
I would always go in the like London tube stations, there's always like a wasabi.
Yeah.
And I love, like the little pots of katsu curry or the noodles and stuff. So if I was going for a longer train ride, I'd always grab one of those and I would sit specifically where the doors are on the floor. Like I wouldn't sit on the floor. Yeah.
On the tube.
I mean, I'm bi, so no, not on the tube, on the train.
Okay.
You never eat on the tube. There's too many germs on the tube.
But even on the train, you sit on the floor.
Yeah, all the time. Because like, I don't know, I just felt like I had more space. Is that weird?
The germaphobe in me is crying.
The bit where like you come in, you walk in, and
I've stood there. I've stood.
Yeah,
I've never sat.
Me and Jamie would sit there the whole time.
Jamie would sit there too?
Yeah.
That
hand sanitized, we our little wasabi pots.
Fair.
We'd like put joint headphones on and like watch things on our phone.
Fair enough. I couldn't. I'd be too scared of getting germs on my clothes.
Oh.
That's the only reason why I wouldn't.
Nadia and Jamie both have emetophobia, so whenever they're around, life is different. That's all I can say. Life is different.
Life is strange.
But okay, so you're going to red flag it though?
I think primarily green, but in some situations red. If you take it too far, red.
If it's onions, red flag.
Yes, basically, yes. If
point.
it's stinky, red.
I find it really interesting because when we talk about it, like my biggest thing was, is this an unconscious bias that we have towards any kind of Asian food, whether it be Eastern Asian or South Asian food? But it's so interesting to me that your issue is like, actually, no, it's like crisps. It's things that's not considered what would be deemed a cultural minority thing anyway.
Yeah, I just think anything that doesn't smell nice to me, but then I'm aware that other people don't like the smell of things that I deem as nice.
So if there was like a nice smelling cake or a pie, you'd be okay with someone eating that?
Yeah, I might ask for some. But yeah, I think it's just the smell. I think I'm very sensitive to smell though. I often, especially I get nausea on trains, which is why smells to me, I'm like, if I smell something, I'm like, oh.
My biggest thing on public transport, which like is fine, I get it, it, like there are people, I'm sounding so snobby right now. I think it's because, especially being with Jamie, who has emetophobia, germs are something that's really conscious to me. And especially since COVID, I've noticed myself be more concerned about it, like a lot more now.
I think that's a good thing for everyone.
But a lot of people, like even from, you know, like crowds, I never used to be someone who was concerned about there being too busy, like being too busy. Ever since COVID has happened, I do get a little heart flutter now when it's really crowded. And that's so bizarre to me. But I do think like in many ways, this like pandemic that the entire world went through has changed our way of living.
Yeah, it's
from
true.
like the clothes that we wear to the ways that we act in things like crowds.
Also, way too many ill people go on the train.
It bugs me so much. Not that I get it. People get ill. I get it. People need to go places. I don't have a problem with that. But wear a goddamn mask. It was so integrated in society. If you're not going to wear a mask, at least shut your mouth when you cough.
I'm very much opinion, if you're ill, don't go outside.
But sometimes people have to though. Like I understand that. Like if needs must. Nadia is you will soon learn if you haven't already seen the previous Am I the Drama episode that we did together. The spicier version of me. There's like no tolerance there.
No.
Say you're like a mum, right? Or like you need to look after someone and you've got a cold.
I get that.
I get it if you have to travel.
But okay, fine. If you have to travel, I get
Not
the
everyone
situation,
has the privilege of being
mask.
in a car. But yeah, mask, or at least cover your mouth. Every single time that I've been on a train recently, people are like, and I cannot hide my face on public transport. When somebody like Jamie has to go to me, he's like, Shaaba, the stink face that you're pulling right now. Because if someone coughs, I'm like. He's like, Shaaba, fix your face right now.
People like looked at me badly for it, but I'm like, I will not hide it. If someone is coughing,
I can't. It's and then like I feel like I can't breathe because like if I'm on the train, I'm like, and then I'm like, I can't hold my breath for too long, especially if I'm not, like I was just on the Elizabeth line and I was like, I'm on here for 3 stops. I was like, what do? I can't put my thing like this. So I know, and then I'm like, I'm gonna die anyway. Like because from being out of breath, it's just it's so silly.
I'm still constipated for like 10 minutes, but it's worth it.
So rude.
And I haven't got ill in a long time, and
I'm not an emetophobe. Do you see what I mean?
Exactly.
So
imagine what it's like for an emetophobe.
Yeah.
Who's trying to sympathise.
Anyway, for the food, I personally green flag it, but you red flag it, and I respect that. I can see why.
In moderation, food can be okay, but if you take it too far, then too much.
If it's onions.
Get
off that train.
Yes. Yes.
All right, Nadia, are you ready to go fishing for assholes? Let's go. You're through to 1-800-DRAMA, the show where you share your biggest dilemmas and I help you navigate them. I'm Shaaba, and with your help,
and sometimes mine,
let's help people figure out if they are the drama, because sometimes you just need an outside perspective and we can all expand our own mindsets along the way. Are you ready to dive deep into the a-holes? Let's go.
Am I the drama, Shaaba?
Always.
For being uncomfortable in a dress.
That is so
sad.
Vague. I'm like, tell me more. It's so suspicious. It's always the titles that are the most vague that I feel end up being the spiciest.
Yes. I'm excited.
Oh no.
Let's go.
I also feel that we approach these very differently. For me, I'm like, let's explore the grey areas. Let me see what we can learn from today. Of course, I do appreciate the drama a little bit, but Nadia's like, oh my God, give me the tea. OP, a 29-year-old woman, has a best friend, a 31-year-old woman who is getting married in about 6 months. Congratulations, best friend.
Yes. It's always weddings that these things happen.
There's a lot of wedding tea, I have to say. And it's sad, right? Because it's supposed to be like the happiest time, but it's so political. I think people put too much stress on it.
They do, but I'm interested to see whose fault it could be.
I'm interested to see your wedding.
I can't wait.
I'm manifesting no drama.
Tom, if you're watching this. No.
Okay.
No drama, yes, absolutely.
I'm in the wedding party, says OP, and I would be her maid of honour if not for her sister.
Okay.
So you guys are close friends, I see.
I don't know if I agree with choosing a maid of honour just because they're siblings rather than if you have a closer connection with someone else. If she is closer, then I feel like she should have been maid of honour.
Than the sister, fair enough. I personally agree, but I can see why for a lot of family, even for my wedding, you sometimes do some things because you need to as opposed to you want to.
I can see.
Sometimes it's just not worth opening that can of worms, you know?
Yes.
Having said that, my maid of honour was a friend.
Exactly.
I am a mask-leaning lesbian with short hair and very androgynous style. Think collared shirts and
Carhartt pants.
What is that? Carhartt?
I
do you know
bet
what
they're
these
gonna
are?
be something badass.
You like an androgynous look.
I don't know what that means, but I think I like it.
Androgynous, like not particularly masculine or feminine, like in the middle.
I feel like I'm very much like that.
A very gender neutral look.
Yes.
You dress quite androgynous.
I feel like I do that.
You do have times of being like hyper femme.
Very rare hyper femme, but it often very depends on my mood.
Yeah, I see
Very
it.
depends on my mood.
Would you say that I'm like particularly masc or femme?
I would say you're probably more femme.
I would say so too. I'd say you're more androgynous than I am.
Mask. Yes. It depends.
Yeah, I would say you're more masc.
It depends so much on my mood. It just happens that my mood most often is leaning towards this kind of just mask style.
Yeah, interesting. I blame The Last of Us entirely.
I blame it too, but I'm not complaining.
Carhartt pants.
I'm excited. Am I gonna buy some of these pants right now?
Oh, okay. They're like.
They're nice.
Are they like lesbian cargo trousers?
Fair.
Is that what we're saying?
I like more cargo pants, like trousers.
Oh, cargo.
Yeah, but that's Carhartt. Oh, cargo.
Yeah, do you think it's because of that? Is it
Something
from cargo?
Cargo? Maybe it's cargo.
All right, I get you. I am a farmer, and an outdoorsy person, and my style reflects that. Someone just went, okay, give me the lesbian bingo card. Let me tick everyone, and I'm so here for it. I don't think I own anything that could be considered chic or nice in bunnies. Oh, that's sad.
This is nice. I love this.
You can live your best lesbian stereotype farmer self and be nice. It's all good, babe. Needless to say, says OP, it's been years since I've worn a dress.
Fair.
Okay. When her and I have talked about her wedding, we always talked about me wearing a cute little suit or jumper type thing, and she was always totally on board with this, saying, oh, definitely, and that's the obvious choice.
That's adorable to me.
It's also like so hot. I don't know why, when I think of like androgynous style, my head goes to Cara Delevingne when she wore that suit. It was such an iconic look. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There was another one. It's like the 8 Ball, the magic film, and there were women in there who were wearing suits, and a lot of my lesbian friends were like popping off. Were like, this is the best film of all time. I don't think it was because of the plot. Oh, that is nice.
Vibe, right?
That is very...
It's hot. Like, I love a girl suit.
Ooh, she wears it really well.
Right? I want that suit.
I do want to wear a suit one day. I think.
Like to your wedding?
I don't think to my wedding.
You'd still dress
I still probably wear a dress for me, but at an occasion, I think it would be really sick to wear.
Sorry, I need to stop Googling Cara Delevingne in suits. I'm thirsting so hard. Yeah. But yes, suit. Yes.
One day.
It's a good look. And you know what? You do you. Fair. Have you seen the Gilmore Girls?
No, but I need to. I'm sorry.
You do. It's fine. Rory wears a suit and she's the best man to her grandparents' wedding, which I think is really cute.
That is nice.
So like, you do you, babe.
Yeah.
Is this the problem?
If there were no occasions, like birthdays or things that I typically might wear a dress to, I probably would go years as well without wearing a dress.
Fair.
Yeah.
I would
Hoodies
not.
are just too good.
I love a
Fair
dress.
enough. That's absolutely
Interesting. Mostly because it makes me feel like I'm not wearing anything. And that's why I wear like baggy joggers, because I hate the feeling of things on my legs.
I hate tight things. A lot of the time I get overstimulated. So I love the baggy aesthetic.
And that's why I'm constantly in joggers, because it makes me feel like I'm not wearing trousers. And that's why I like things like skirts and dresses, not because I like the aesthetic, but because I like the functionality of not feeling like things are wrapped on my legs.
That's interesting. I feel like when things are tighter, it's an opportunity to potentially feel less confident. So for me, I feel slightly less confident when I'm in a dress, because I'm like, oh, everything is more visible and out. So I prefer to wear baggy and just like be like, no one can see me or what I look like. And there's a level of confidence I have in that.
You just don't like being subjected.
I feel like people can have a great opportunity of looking at me and judging certain parts of myself. Whereas if I'm baggy, no one could be like, oh, your boobs are tiny. You can't see them. So it's fine.
I might not have any.
Exactly.
I could have 6.
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to know.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about you too. A couple of weeks ago, says OP, she sent a message to all the wedding party gals that included a note about what kind of dress that she wanted us to wear, such as lengths and colours, and asking that we should show her our choices first before purchasing. Interesting. See, that in itself, I think so, but that in itself is also like could be quite political. Weddings get pricey. This is my point. I don't mean to be spicy on this front. I totally appreciate, for my wedding, we ensured that we made our budget so that the people that we wanted in the wedding didn't have to buy anything new. That was really important to me, because I know how stressful it can be to be like, oh, and I have to spend hundreds of pounds on this hen or stag do or whatever it is, and now you need to buy these new outfits. So to be able to provide that for people was important to me. Or I'm like, if there's things that I'm not going to give to you, I'd much rather use what you already have, and I'm not going to tell you what it needs to be, because I don't want you to feel like you have to go out your way to buy something. So that in itself, I think, is a relatively political thing. You know,
I feel like though, if you said to me, if I was a person who wanted the suit, and you're like, these are my preference for lengths and colours for dresses, and then you send me a separate message being like, hey, I know you want a suit. If you wanted to keep it roughly to this colour, then like
you could be on a colour scheme. Then
I think that would be nice and considerate.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, I get it.
So OP texted and said, on the side, I'm okay to wear a suit for the wedding, yeah? And she responded with a long message that included things like how she'd looked up pictures of bridesmaids with suits. I don't even know what she typed into Google to find those, and how she thought it looked messy or like an outlier. She said that I could wear a flowy jumper with wide legs.
How is that less messy.
Sorry, how does a jumper have legs? I'm so confused.
No,
a
like
flowy jumper with wide legs.
I assume that was like wide leg trousers.
Like a jumpsuit, maybe. A flowy jumpsuit with wide legs so that it looks like a dress.
How is that not messy than a suit?
But that it may need to be a dress for the day. Oh, so you can't even wear a flowy jumpsuit, I'm assuming is what they mean with wide legs. That's sad. That's sad, especially because you've spoken about it already. And I do think if you're wanting one of these like cohesive weddings, right, it's not about the type of shape. It's about things like the colour. You can provide uniformity whether you're all wearing the same colour.
Yes.
Where one is a suit and one is a
I'm
dress.
just so confused on how a suit is more messy than a flowy jumper with wide legs. That's what I'm wearing right now. You're telling me this is less messy than a suit?
I have a feeling that they don't mean a jumper because this doesn't have legs, Nadia.
No, but I think they mean wide leg trousers.
You know the jumpsuit that I have?
Yes.
The one that I just bought in that grey colour as well because I liked it so much.
That was really nice.
Everyone thinks that that's a dress. You see wide-legged jumpsuit?
Yes. Okay, I get what you're saying.
I feel like that's what she's saying they should wear. But then she's also saying, but it may need to be a dress for the day.
No.
This is rude.
No.
This is rude.
What would you do if I said on your day I wanted to wear pyjamas?
There's a line. There is a line. I don't think I'd be happy with pyjamas, especially because like you were a bridesmaid.
Oh yeah, okay,
do you know what
Fair
I mean?
enough.
But if you said to me I don't want to wear a dress, I would have been totally fine with you with finding a suit for you that would have matched the colour scheme still.
Yes, fair.
You know?
That's nice.
Or a skirt or or if someone says I don't want a bodycon dress, like I don't want it to be super tight, I want something more flowy.
Yes.
Fair. You're like, I'd rather you be comfortable.
Exactly.
I'm not wearing it.
Exactly. Oh gosh.
I was totally surprised by this, says OP, and very uncomfortable with the idea and also hurt by the words that she used to describe the assumed one lesbian or non-binary in the bridesmaid lineup photo that she had found.
I wouldn't assume that they are a lesbian or non-binary person because I'm not, and I would still wear a suit happily.
Where does that come from? Also hurt by the words that she used. What did she say?
I think she's assuming that
it's because of her identity that
No. I think she's assuming that she found a photo on Google, saw one person wearing a suit, and was like, oh,
Messy.
they might be lesbian, non-binary. That's why they're wearing a suit, and called them out for it. But so OP thinks that they were talking directly to lesbians or non-binaries, but I don't think that's the case. I think someone was just wearing a suit. They could be lesbian or non-binary, but it could also just be someone who likes a suit.
Maybe I feel like OP is being triggered as well by the word outlier.
Potentially, yeah.
For
I
themselves.
don't think they said that though. I think OP's getting into their head, and it's like they picked out an outlier who is potentially lesbian or non-binary.
From the photos,
and I think she's like, yeah, you're right, thinking about it a lot.
I haven't responded yet, but the tension is palpable. I'm not sure how to or if I should put back, but the idea of standing up there in front of so many people that I know, it is a big wedding, in a dress makes me cringe. My other friends I've asked about it says that she can't even picture me wearing a dress. Aww. I do know that it's her day and that my outfit may theoretically detract some attention from her, as I would be the only bridesmaid not in a dress. But is it wrong of her to ask me to go against my gender identity and comfort for her wedding photos? I'm getting a bit confused.
It's not gender identity.
Right, yeah, because you've identified yourself as a woman.
I think OP is finding a really close correlation between gender identity and the choice of clothing.
And gender expression.
Gender expression,
and this
exactly.
is why, it's like, for me, just as a learning moment on this podcast, those are wildly different things.
Agreed.
And I feel like if the terms gender identity, sexual orientation, and gender expression were fully understood, we would have significantly less homophobia, transphobia, LGBT phobia in the world.
That is very true.
So I just wanted to point out that gender identity and gender expression are very, very different things. Your gender identity, you being a woman, is not at all affected by the clothes that you wear.
Exactly.
But your gender expression of being more feminine or masc, I can totally appreciate why you wouldn't want someone else to dictate that for you. And that is very valid. Part of me feels like wearing a dress would be equally as weird and a distraction because everyone would be wondering why I'm in a dress since they know me and my style/gender expression.
Okay.
I don't want to rock the boat or make this about me, but I do want to show her that it's disrespectful and hurtful of her to ask that of me. It feels like that she wants me there as a prop, not as my whole self. Am I the drama?
Okay, there's a couple things. One, OP said that if it wasn't for the sister, she'd be the maid of honour. Did the bride say that to her? Or is she assuming, I'm so close, so like I probably would have been it if it wasn't for the sister? Because I feel like because of that close relationship, it might be in her head that we're so close, how could you not let me be who I am? Like, surely you know me more than anyone else.
I feel like they're just really close, and maybe that was the context of what they're saying. But I do hear you. I think that's what I'm a little bit confused about. If you are such close friends, it is surprising to me that they would not understand how much this would affect you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel really sad, I think, for OP that your mindset is on like, oh, but I don't want to take attention away away from her. It's literally their wedding. They are the bride and the groom. The idea that you wearing a suit would like distract attention in any meaningful way is so silly. I'm not saying you're silly for feeling that way. I'm saying it's such a shame that people feel like, oh, I have to be concerned about what I wear, that I don't take attention. Unless you're coming in a white dress. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then I can understand. Like, don't do that.
Yes.
Everything else, like, you should just be comfortable.
Exactly. I also think we need to know what that message said, because I don't know if the bride said something that has obviously triggered something, because she's getting very worked up in this gender expression, gender identity, almost like it's an attack on who she is on her.
Whereas I think the friend is definitely seeing it more as like not a personal thing.
Exactly.
I think you're right, but they're seeing it in terms of the wedding and just like their aesthetic. They're not thinking about this deeper meaning. Oh, so what badge would you give?
I either think it will be...
I'm struggling between two.
I'm struggling between two. The one that I'm struggling in between is either everybody sucks it or need more information.
Those are not the ones that I was struggling between. That's so interesting.
Really?
For me, it's either not the drama
or
no drama here. Because, hang on, hold me.
Okay.
Wait,
whoa, okay.
My thinking was, I'm concerned that this is too early to post. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I need you to have that conversation with your friend and be like, hey, this was a little hurtful to me. I'm seeing this as an attack on my identity. Or you don't even need to say it in that way, but you know, like wearing a dress for me is so uncomfortable. This might be in my mind, but my feelings are still valid. I feel like for my identity, you're not respecting that by forcing me to wear something that I don't want to wear. And we did say that we could do suits. Like, this has already been a discussion.
Yes.
So where are we going with that? Like, can we have a chat about that? And are you happy to be flexible in light of me feeling really uncomfortable with wearing the dress? And then depending on her response to that, I can then determine if there's drama. But right now, because it's so early, I definitely don't feel the bride has been any bad intentioned. I feel like the bride has gone, yeah, I looked and I'm not particularly happy with that aesthetic, so just wear a dress, and not thought anything more of it. Like, I don't think that she's realising the effect that it's having on OP.
Yes. Okay. I can see where you're coming from.
So I don't think the drama is there yet. Whereas I feel like if she reacted negatively to you being vulnerable and saying, I really don't want to do this and this is why, and also look at Cara Delevingne looking freaking hot in a suit, babe, like I can make sure that this works.
Yes.
If she reacted negative to that, then she would be the drama.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from. Yeah.
What are your badges? Talk me through.
Well, the first one for need more information is because I want to see what the message was. My concern is that the bride said some very nasty things that might have referenced their OP's gender identity, which is causing her to feel a lot more pain, in a sense where she might not be ready to start that conversation with her as a response, because she's really hurting. So I want to know if she actually said something bad.
Is it in OP's mind?
Exactly.
Or is it something that was said?
Exactly. Like, was there a reason for it to be triggered? Or
and both, again, are totally valid.
Yes.
But communication, you need to be able to share that with a friend so that they understand why you're hurting.
Yes. So that's my only reason for need more information.
Sure.
My other one for, okay, maybe everyone sucks is not the best one, but my reasoning was because the bride kind of sucks for almost going back on her word.
Right.
And making someone feel uncomfortable.
You did say that you could do a suit thing.
Yeah. So that's one thing. I guess, actually, I don't know if OP really sucks at all. I'm thinking about from the bride, it seems like OP, it's not their fault. If
you think they've made it a bigger thing in their mind?
Yes. I think if the message had no harmful intention, didn't say anything mean, I think OP has kind of gotten in their head a lot and has almost partially blaming the bride for things that she didn't intend or do.
I can totally respect that. Sometimes what people say to us and what we hear are very different things.
Exactly, yeah. And I don't think they should be put blame on someone.
Exactly. The accountability of that can absolutely be on us if we're in a specific headspace. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, that interpretation happens because of the life path that we've been through, right?
Very tiny sucks. No one's like,
very tiny.
No one's like a terrible person
if you are the drama, you're a really little drama.
yeah. It just seems quite a sad situation. OP is just very misunderstood and needs to kind of figure out how they're feeling.
I also feel like sometimes I need to stay stum on these wedding... Stum? Oh. Like don't say anything. Because I feel like for me, this is just me being honest here, right? I'm not saying that it's that everyone should feel this way. I'm just like, who the hell cares? If you actually came to me and said, no, seriously, Shaaba, I would feel so comfortable in only pajamas on your wedding day, I'd be like, all right. If that's what makes you happy, I actually don't give a crap.
Get married again.
About the fact that, you know, what you like, sure, wear like silky. We had people at our wedding, you know exactly who I'm talking about, we're not going to name names here, but who came in like joggers. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's really what you want to do, it doesn't affect me in my day. Like, there are so many bigger things in the world that I need to be stressing about. What you wear in and you being comfortable is not one of them.
That's true.
So for me, especially because like it's just a suit, like
that's not even like informal. That's not even messy. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's really cute. I think it's very fashion forward. So that's what I'm saying. But I totally appreciate where some people will be like, well, actually, for me, the aesthetic of my wedding is really important, and the memories that come for that, like it's a sense of bonding and blah blah blah. Even that came out shady. I'm so sorry.
If the bride thinks that a dress with a suit, that kind of mixture is messy, then how does she think her wedding photos are going to look like? Assuming that she's marrying
assuming
a
that
man
the
wearing a suit,
groom
or a groom, yeah, wearing a suit. I don't see how that's messy at all. I like the contrast.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So do we have to decide on a singular badge?
What would your badge be?
I need more information. I think I need to see what that message was, whether the bride was actually rude or whether she's in her head a little bit.
And say it is maybe a bit in her head and the conversations that did happen were messy and outliers specifically, because the only quote we have here is maybe do a flowy jumper with wide legs that looks like a dress, but it might need to be a dress for the day.
Then not the drama. Oh no, then you're the drama.
You would say that they
OP
are the
is the drama. And then it would lead to that conversation where, okay, you need to have that conversation with the bride and flatten things out, but then also stop taking it as a personal attack. Like, work through your feelings first.
Yes. Yeah. Have some internal reflection.
Exactly.
I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Should we see what other people have to say?
Yes.
Let's do that.
I'm excited.
Not the drama.
You should be comfortable day of, and if a dress is hard line for you, that's okay. I would respond back saying, I understand you have a vision for your day, and that includes your bridesmaids wearing a dress. Unfortunately, that is something I'm not really comfortable with for a number of personal reasons. I don't want you to have to compromise on what you want for your day, so I would rather attend as a guest.
Interesting. I do feel like that could be an inflammatory message. I agree with not the drama, and you should be comfortable, and if you don't want to wear a dress, you don't have to wear a dress.
But that's the thing. If it's the question of, am I the drama for feeling uncomfortable with dress? Like, no. Like, obviously, wear what you're comfortable with. I'm never saying that OP should have to force herself to wear a dress.
You're not saying you're the drama for not wearing a dress.
Exactly.
You're saying you're the drama for making this a drama right now without having... Yeah.
Yes,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wear the suit.
I now understand as well more your need more information, because I just feel like you're just a bit premature with this post.
Yes.
I just feel like you should have had that conversation first.
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong for you to ask the question. It certainly wouldn't be a drama for you to push back in any way, but I think that's what they're concerned that it would be seen as.
I also don't think, like, especially if you're this close to the bride, saying like,
have those
oh,
conversations.
I'd rather attend as a guest, I think that's unnecessary. Like, if you're that close, then the bride should compromise, right?
Or at least have that conversation instead of like,
exactly.
I agree with you. This comment is a bit too much to be like, I'm not going to be a bridesmaid. That is going to make someone feel some kind of way. Just be like, look, I really want to be a bridesmaid, but I also want to wear a suit. As we discussed, can we find a way to make this work?
And if they say no, then maybe you're not as close as you think.
And maybe then you just be like, look, for my personal values, I can't come in the attire. That's when you then say, I'd like to attend your wedding, but I can't wear this dress. So if that means that you don't want me in your bridal party, I get it. And then I wouldn't be close.
Yeah, wouldn't be close.
I would struggle so much because I'm like, wow, if me sacrificing my comfort is that important for your aesthetic of the day,
in the bin.
it's a bit much, innit?
No.
You are the drama.
Wow. Okay. To be honest, I get your reservations, but if you can't be uncomfortable for one night for a close friend, then honestly, why are you friends? Sometimes we have to suck things up, like showing up for someone wearing a dress for their wedding on their day. You are being selfish, as is everyone else supporting you. Whoa! It's not your wedding. It's not your day. Sure, have a talk. You can still wear pants, so there is some leeway. You're mad you can't dictate the outfits of someone else's bridal party? If she is your close friend, then suck it up. You are thinking only of yourself, and you're not supporting a person you care for in an important moment in their life. If being there is important, then getting caught up on the bridesmaid's outfit is wild.
Whoa.
That's
but
insane.
surely that goes both ways.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, you could say the exact same thing to the bride.
Yes. Also, in fact, it's not my wedding. It's not my day. So who cares about what I'm doing? What? They make rompers that are really stylish and can fit the look you want while fitting the look she wants. Stop being selfish and work on being selfless.
God damn, this comment is a lot. I will say though, that romper thing, if that's what she was trying to say, the bride, like a jumpsuit, that could be a great middle ground, because it is essentially a suit. It's just a one-piece suit instead of a two-piece suit.
Yes.
So like, I get it, but like, that's why you need to have that conversation.
Yeah, you need to have that
because
conversation.
there could be, you know, maybe what she was looking at as bridesmaids in suits, like Google Image just like did her dirty and gave her some really like frumpy looking suits.
Google? What does Google say if we look at bridesmaids
in a suit?
It's
gonna be cute. I just know it. Like, I can see it in my mind. Bridesmaids in a suit. Oh so much. Like, how can you be mad at that?
That is adorable. Look at how stylish those suits are.
Right? I
That's
also love the
beautiful.
inverse of colour.
Yes,
that's so
beautiful.
clever, where like they're wearing the cream and ivory, and I assume this is the bride in the colour. But no, come on.
No, that's insane.
This is what I mean by a jumpsuit.
Yes.
Right? You could totally romper it up in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that could be a solution. They just need to talk about it.
Exactly. Just talk.
I feel like OP's like taken that as like such an offense, and now she's like really angry and mad about it without actually realizing like, okay, you can have this conversation. She's not refusing your gender identity.
This comment though.
Everyone in this life has done something they haven't wanted to for someone they love. No, I don't think I've ever done something that I didn't want to for someone I love, because someone who I love and loves me would make me do something that I don't want to do.
I do think you're looking at it a little bit too black and white. There are times, for example, where you've gone on park runs with Tom because he enjoys it. Do you see? Like, it doesn't need to be big things. Like, we do compromise for our relationships. I think for me, it's like, does that discomfort have to? It's got to outweigh the discomfort that's providing that individual person. Like, okay, I'm not a massive fan of the movie Space Jam. Don't cancel me on this, okay? It's one of Jamie's favourite films. I didn't grow up with it, so I don't particularly get it. But if he's like, I want to watch Space Jam, I'll be like, okay, is that my idea of a super funny thing? No, but I'll do it because you like it. And my want to please you is greater than the discomfort of me sitting through 2 hours of a
That's
weird
a perfect equation.
animation.
Yeah, that's a perfect equation. Yeah, wanting to please someone greater than your discomfort in doing
That's
it.
what I'm thinking,
so true.
right? But like, also, is there a way to make it less comfortable for you? Like, I'm still coming to your wedding. Me wearing a suit doesn't change the fact that the bride's still gonna enjoy me being there as a bridesmaid.
And if the bride is more upset that you're wearing a suit compared to the happiness she should be experiencing on her wedding day, then there's something wrong.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
There's
your
something
priorities
wrong.
are all over the place.
My World War II grandpa wore a glittery necklace my sister made. Even though it made him less manly, he did it because he loved her and made her happy after she cried when he said no the first time. Ha. Well, you just contradicted your point. He literally said no the first time and she cried. Also, how do you know he wore it? He could go, haha, bye honey, close the door, and just rip it off his neck. But anyway, I get the point. You're 29, you know better.
And I get it. Sometimes you do things to make other people happy. I get that.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, it's got to be in context. It can't be as black and white as that.
Yes, you're right.
And in this situation, they're still turning up. Like, I don't understand in this situation why the bride's aesthetic is more important, priority-wise, than the bridesmaid's comfort.
I get where, like, brides like, oh, it's just my day, I want everything to be perfect. Like, I get why they might want to be really finicky.
Perfect. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
this comment was way too harsh, in my opinion. Way too harsh. And I don't agree with that. And although they're saying you're the drama and you're saying you're the drama, it's for different reasons.
Different reasons.
Very
completely.
different reasons.
Yeah.
Dang.
Also, you're 29, you know better. Everyone's learning all the time.
True. Oh, and someone's actually responded to that comment.
Honestly, I think it's way more selfish to want one of your friends to be miserable just to fit your wedding aesthetic.
Right?
Yeah, fair. It's just a party. Yes, one that you get to plan and host, but you shouldn't get to dictate every little detail just because it's your one special day.
This is where I do think, like, weddings just become so much more than they're supposed to be.
What's it called? Bridezillas.
Bridezillas, right? And this is the capitalistic side. Like, really, is it that important to you, bride? Take a step away that your bridesmaids are wearing the exact same thing. Or is that something that you think societally you should do because it's what you expect a perfect image to be? If it's because it's what you want, that's very different to it's what you feel you should want.
I have a feeling that this bride, though, is trying to do a lot of things to fit her aesthetic and standards. Because even then she said, it's a huge wedding. It's a big wedding. Personally, for me, my wedding is going to be tiny. Everyone that's coming is people that I know and close to the point where if they said to me, oh, I want to wear this or one of that, fine, do whatever you want. But if it's such a big wedding, I understand you can't control, like, that many people. I have a feeling it could be one of those things where it's like a show rather than something very intimate and personal.
You're doing it more... Yeah. You're losing sight of what a wedding should be about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd hope the bride and groom would care more about people having fun and making happy memories than looking a certain way for their Instagram photos. If you're feeling insecure and self-conscious by wearing something you're not comfortable in, you're not going to be able to let loose and have fun. Exactly.
I do agree.
Very true.
I do agree. And someone's then responded to that person with,
I love it!
Lol, have you never been in a wedding party? Part of it is wearing something you're not comfortable in, whether it be the dress or hair. I'm going to be downvoted on this, but honestly, it's one effing day. I get that OP wants to feel comfortable, but guess what? It's not their day, and that's unfortunately something we understand when we accept the role in someone's wedding.
No.
Oh.
When I accepted to be a bridesmaid in your wedding, it was not, okay, I'm signing myself up to be uncomfortable, to wear stuff I don't want to wear.
I feel like it's such an old trope, right? That the bridesmaids are going to be put in ugly dresses that they don't like and they just need to shut up.
Yeah, and take it. Like, no.
I hated my dress as SOP and my hair for my best friend's wedding, but I was the maid of honor and it wasn't about me. I didn't complain or say anything because honestly, at the end of the day, it didn't matter. As the bride, I would rather my maid of honor be in something that she wants to be in than not feel like she can be honest with me in the photos that I immortalize and cherish forever. What?
I feel like people are misusing or have completely forgotten the definition of a best friend. Like, you should be comfortable enough to have these conversations.
Not being a best friend means putting yourself in uncomfortable positions for someone else. Like, no, that's being a best friend means that
and that's
you
actually
want to see your best friend be uncomfortable.
That's actually really dangerous because then it gives people the perception that they're allowed to make people do what they don't want to do as a form of love.
Right, and I totally agree with you. That's so toxic. I think this entire comment is quite toxic, to be fair.
Yes.
The whole point of the matching outfits at a wedding and a party is the aesthetic. Spelled wrong. If OB doesn't want to wear a dress, they don't need to participate. I'm all there for being true to yourself and having the freedom to express in any way you see fit. But what people don't seem to get is that it's one day. Most people hate some part of what they're wearing anyways. Either do it or step down. No one's forcing you to do anything. It's a wedding, not a life or death situation.
No.
All kinds of this comment is wrong. That's also suggesting, especially that last bit there, that, sorry, unless it's something really dramatic, you're not allowed to complain. You're not allowed to feel some kind of way.
It is really dramatic.
That's such a wrong thing to say. Like, you're allowed to have feelings even if it's on a trivial issue.
Yes.
And you're allowed to voice your opinion to the person that's supposed to be your best friend.
And one thing I've learned, especially a lot in the last couple of years, is that what might be trivial to some is not to others.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you reckon that there's a level of whether there is enough, not even just empathy, but kind of similarity and experience that allows for this? For example,
I feel uncomfortable with my tummy, so I understand why you would feel uncomfortable with your
so
tummy.
do you reckon if these people have never had any experiences with being not confident in their body, so they're like, I'm fine, you can literally be fine wearing this too, I see no problem.
The bride in this situation is absolutely fine with dresses, doesn't have an androgynous look, and therefore doesn't understand why it would be so important for someone to not wear a dress when they've never worn a dress.
Yeah. So it might be that as well, but either way, people should have empathy.
Exactly. You know, like, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Put yourself in the other person's suit.
Yeah. That's so good. You're the drama.
Ooh.
I realise I'm in the minority and going to get downvoted to oblivion, but from one mask-leaning lesbian to another, suck it up. It's not about you expressing yourself, it's about supporting her.
Wow. This is so interesting to me that this is coming from someone who's also a mask-leaning lesbian, who understands that fashion and clothing can be more loaded. I think what I've learned from this is...
People are mean.
Yes, but also the word support has been taken way out of context.
Yes.
Is it really supporting to be wearing something that you are not comfortable with? How in God's name does that support the bride?
Yes. Yes.
Really? What are we talking about in terms of support here?
Pay for all my food on the day. That will be supporting.
Adapting to the colour scheme, doing functional things to help out.
Yes.
That's supporting.
Exactly.
You know, like wanting to fulfill this aesthetic. Okay. But really, wearing a piece of material that is open instead of with legs, that's not supporting.
You said that appealing to the aesthetic would be supporting.
I feel like if somebody wanted an aesthetic of like a colour scheme, fine, you can do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's other ways to make that happen.
So I guess not all aesthetics, reasonable aesthetics. Because if you said the aesthetic is a dress, then wearing a dress is not supporting. But if it was something trivial like a colour scheme, then fine.
Yeah,
that makes sense to...
Like if someone was just like, I would really like a neutral palette so that there's a continuity on the day, and then you were like, I'm sorry, I only wear neon green. I could see why...
neon Hulk. Yeah.
And my head just went to Billie Eilish. I can see why...
I would let Billie Eilish come to my wedding if she was wearing neon green.
Why that could be a problem.
Yeah, that's sad though. I'm sad that a lot of people have misunderstood so many important words and using them in the wrong way.
Remember why a wedding exists.
And remember why a wedding exists.
Not for
remember
the Instagram
what supporting
photos.
Means.
Yeah.
Remember what gender expression means, gender identity.
I'm shocked that most of the comments are you are the drama.
I know. Wow, that's really sad.
Drama. Am I the drama, Nadia, for demanding that my fiancé's parents change their plans to have a vacation at the same place as our honeymoon?
Why would you want parents at your honeymoon? What? Okay, that's insane. My fiancé and I have our wedding coming up in April.
Congratulations, I think.
We had brainstormed for a while on where best to spend our honeymoon, okay? We went over the more popular and well-known places, but then landed on a more offbeat destination that I felt would truly be a great place for us to start our life as a married couple.
I love that. So this is the total opposite of the other one, where you're like, look, I get that there's what people do, and this is what I wanted to do.
Exactly. I want to know this location, though. Yes.
What do you want your honeymoon to be? Do you want to go on a honeymoon?
I would. It would depend where. I really liked what you guys did for your honeymoon. That sounds really nice and relaxing. Depends how stressed, if I need like a break than just to go out. But if I want to go exploring, like sightseeing, I might even be in Mauritius, but alone. I'm not inviting family, parents, anyone is coming.
That'd be cute. No. That'd be what cute.
I've been looking forward to it just being the two of us. I know he has a really hectic work schedule and we were going to make the most out of this.
Also, can I just say at this point, I think it's really normal to assume that your honeymoon would be the two of you. Like, there is no world in which a honeymoon would include greater family or friends. I'm so intrigued.
Like, stresses me out. Like, I'm stressed right now thinking about it. Yeah, no, anyway.
Who was suggesting this?
No. A couple of days ago, he told me that his parents had been impressed by how hyped I was about it and were planning on going there for a vacation too, largely overlapping with our dates. What? Why would you be impressed about how hyped someone is for their wedding? Like if I was so excited, Tom's parents would be like, oh, you're awfully happy about a honeymoon.
But like, of course you're going to be hyped about your honeymoon. That doesn't mean that you book yourself on it, you absolute idiot.
Unless the parents were like, you know what, you're hyped, you got good stuff planned, I'm going to join that trip.
That's what they're doing. They're like, oh, well, it sounds fun for you. Sure, go later.
Shaaba. They're staying at the same hotel as us.
What? How can they not see that this is not okay?
Next thing they're going to say, they're staying in the room next to us.
They're going to say they're staying in our room. It's a family suite.
I was livid.
No.
I would be too.
Shit.
They can go any other time. Why now? He said he had suggested that, but his mum said they had taken time off for the wedding too, and it worked well into their plans.
Oh my God.
I would cry. I feel like I'm crying right now. Oh my God, I need to calm down. Also, that since we're going to be going back, it'll allow them to maybe see us a few times before we leave. I was almost in tears. I was so angry. He tried to reassure me, saying they had promised it'll be two separate things and they won't be inserting themselves in our honeymoon.
That's total bullshit. They've already said it works well into their plans since we're going to be going back. It'll allow them to see us a few times before we leave. So you're literally saying already we're making plans to make this a joint thing.
Do you tell people what you're doing for your honeymoon before you go?
Are you suggesting now that you're not going to, just in case this happens?
Maybe. But I'm like, is it normal to tell people, oh, I'm going to honeymoon here at this hotel? Like,
well, it could be a nice thing to do. You know, if you're just having chat to be like, oh, we've booked it and we found this package at this.
Yeah, fair. Okay, fair enough.
Oh my God.
They want us to enjoy it and they be doing their own thing. I want to believe it, but I know his mum. I like her as a soon-to-be mother-in-law, but she can be very clingy and routinely laments how far he and now us are from them. And so I just have a feeling the two plans are not going to be as independent as he thinks they'll be.
Can I just moldy brownie badge to your husband? A moldy brownie badge. How in God's name do you feel like this is an okay thing to do?
Especially with how upset OP is.
How is he not upset? This is a big red flag for me in the relationship.
It is
because I'm like, am I marrying you or am I marrying your family? If you feel like you can't stand up to your parents, does he want this? I need to know if he wants this. We done.
Why would you want that?
But like, why is he not saying something? This is so not okay. Objectively, this is so not okay.
It is. So especially as a honeymoon gal, she knows. I vented about it to my parents too. My mum agreed with me that this isn't right. My dad is more on the fence about it. He doesn't think everything is ruined. What's up with the dads and the parents being weird? I've demanded my fiance make them change their plans. He says he asked them to. They promised to do their own thing. What can he do? Tell them he doesn't believe them and call them liars?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, just be like, look, it's so not normal for you to join a couple on their honeymoon. It's totally fine if you want to go to this place. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. That's why we're booking it. Go later.
I don't think they should have to ever do this, but do you think it'll be weird if they just like, okay, secretly just change their honeymoon and hotel?
I feel like that's what I would do. Right. Literally, because you're right, like you don't own the hotel.
Unless
you can't change someone's message. If it is possible to change things, I would change it.
Yeah, or even just the hotel. Something just, and not tell anyone where they are. Yeah, oh my God. Ugh. Unless you're on Life 360, then that kind of sucks. I messed up here and said if that's what it takes, he got quiet. I realised that was too much and sincerely apologised for crossing the line.
Yeah, I don't think you need to call them liars, but you do need to say, look, I just think you need to understand this is really different and I appreciate that you want to be there, but you're not going to be able to help yourselves. This isn't a family holiday, this is a honeymoon. It's a once in a lifetime thing where we get to have an opportunity as a couple. Please don't come.
I'm wondering if it is over the line if they call them liars, because it might be like a white lie, but it's true, right? If I said, Shaaba, I'm gonna come and stay with you, but I'm not going to see you at all, but you know I've seen you every day, like that is kind of lying. It's just a nicer way of not taking accountability for my lies.
You're right. Mm-hmm. But I think saying, you know, like, I don't believe you, you're a liar, that's not going to be an effective way to handle this situation.
Yeah. I would. This has been eating me up. I was envisioning a certain type of honeymoon and this has happened. Am I the drama?
You are so not the drama.
No!
This is the biggest not the drama badge
Yeah, absolutely.
I can give. But oh my God, I cannot explain how much your husband is the drama in this.
Yes.
Yes, the parents, the parent-in-laws. Yeah,
You know what? I read the
parents-in-law.
title as in OP is asking the fiance to change the parents' plans so that they are at the same place as the honeymoon.
Oh, but no, it's the
It's the other
total
way.
opposite.
Oh, yes,
I
absolutely.
think it's a really big red flag. Imagine if
Yes.
Tom's parents did this and Tom was just like, well, I tried. I asked them. Like,
No.
I would need to be like, why are you not as livid as I am right
Yes.
now? I am so
Yes.
confused
Is
at this
that,
right now.
Is that the fact that he's not as upset as she is?
That to me suggests that he can't stand up to his parents and
Yeah.
that they are going to be a much bigger influence in other aspects of your relationship too. It's the principle. It's not the cookie. Do you
It's
know
the
what
crumble.
I mean? I don't know what phrase I'm trying to use, but it's
Crumble.
something
Cookie
to do with
crumble is
that.
really good dessert.
It is about the principle of the matter. This isn't
Yes.
about the honeymoon. This is about the parents overstepping and your husband feeling...
Well, I think though, potentially, because OP has said that the parents are known to be very clingy. I reckon the fiance is used to that, so he doesn't see how clingy this is being.
or that can cause a problem in a relationship.
He's like, it's fine, they'll be like down the road. It's happened before.
And you need to put a pin in that right now, unless you want to be marrying his parents too.
That's just sad. Like, parents are massive a-holes.
Hugely.
Why would you even want to impart yourself into something that's so personal within your child's love
How
life?
do you not realise that is a problem?
You want to be hearing this
Nadia!
like, you want, like, do you want that? Like, no. Yeah, that's gross, no.
I'm shook. I'm actually so shook. I can't deal.
I wonder what the comments say. Not the drama.
As much as it sucks, the only way to truly secure an in-law free honeymoon would be to cancel your plans and go somewhere else. Not ideal,
Yes.
but there is no way that you are not going to accidentally bump into them the whole time that they're there. I totally agree with this. I also acknowledge that could be really difficult to do, especially if you booked it on a package. You might not be able to without like financial consequence, which would not be okay. And I'm so mad even at the idea that you have to change what you do because of them.
Yes.
At the same time, you can't force them to change it if they're not going to change it.
And also,
For you, I would definitely see if this is an option.
maybe let's be a lesson learned. Don't do people going on holiday and just like a week before.
How sad is that though, to have a family that you feel like you can't actually share things with because your excitement means that they're going to take that from you for a honeymoon?
But you know what? Given OP's response here,
OP says, a few other comments have said this too. I truly appreciate what you're saying and I know that I'm overreacting, but this makes me want to bawl my eyes out. I don't think you're overreacting.
no, but you know what I think this is? I think OP knows that there are solutions. Change the booking of the holiday. Change it. I think OP is so upset just at the fact that it was suggested.
Yeah, the fact that this has been happening and that the husband's not on the same side. There's so many things to be up.
Even if the parents cancel the holiday, but like, yeah, okay, fine. She's still gonna be upset because it happened in the first place and that was wrong.
I do hear you. I do think if that happened though, that would be fine for me. I'd be like, I give someone an ability to learn.
Would you be happy though if the parents cancelled it on their own accord, or would you be happier that your husband made them cancel it?
Yeah, you're right. I would be so upset that the husband isn't upset.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing that I would be upset. I'd be upset that it happened and that my husband
If the
wasn't on the same
parents
side.
then cancelled on their own accord and the fiance was like, good
I'd
thing
been
that
fine with
happened.
them being here.
Yeah, then no, I'd still be upset. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you go with them. Go on their holiday. I'll go
I'm doing
solo.
my honeymoon
exactly.
alone.
That'd be great. I do sympathise with OP.
That sucks.
Not the drama. I would personally change the hotel or the dates or both, or stay at a different hotel. The dates they're going to also be there.
Oh, that is definitely something you could do, right? So I understand sometimes it might be that to move it entirely wouldn't be okay,
Yes.
but if you explain the situation, it might be that they'll allow you to entirely change your dates with like a significantly less financial penalty or no financial penalty, in which case there would be no overlap.
That would be sad though if they were going right after their wedding and so then had to delay their honeymoon.
Legit though, babe, I would much rather that than be
absolutely.
going on honeymoon with my parents or my parent-in-laws. And I love my in-laws. That's not any reflection on them. It's just there's a
Time
and a
for
place.
everything.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No. And no cell phone policy, so they can't get a hold of you.
That's a very good idea.
But to be honest, this is a husband problem and not an in-law problem. Say it louder.
It's both, but definitely a husband problem.
He should have shut her down point blank at even the suggestion of going to your honeymoon destination at the same time, at the same hotel, breathing the same air.
Based on everything that I've seen on Reddit about overbearing and abusive mother-in-laws, I would call off the wedding. Your marriage is doomed. Your fiance will never stand up for you against his mummy and she will interfere constantly, even with the smallest things. I get so annoyed at comments like this. There is no reason to cancel your wedding.
Reaching.
Oh my goodness. But there is a reason to... I absolutely see that this is a greater issue you. I see where this is coming from in its like idea, but have a f***ing conversation.
Would you cancel a wedding because of in-laws? Like, if you really disliked your fiance's in-laws?
If they were being very overbearing. But see, I feel like, for me, this is a wedding is not something that I just jump into. You know,
I
like,
hope not.
Especially in our culture. A lot of things are done without being fully
that's
informed.
very true. Yeah.
And I think like that's so important to understand that context of who you're marrying, but also their family, because it's true, like to some extent, our families always say it. Families marry each other. You are going to be spending a lot of time with them. And I would not, I think, be able to even accept, like consider marriage with someone if I saw that and that was causing a dynamic that was such a problem to me.
Yeah. I do respect people who marry someone and they are both able to, like, some of, you know how some of them completely cut off someone's like in-laws and they are so happy and in love with each other and they're able to distance themselves from someone's family.
If
it's
that's
sad.
what's needed.
It's sad, but if that's what's needed, the fact that they're able to work like that is very nice. I'm happy for them.
Yes, to find a middle ground. I think we see a lot with this, is this concept of boy mums. It's like, especially with their sons, mums can't let go, and psychologically they don't like the fact that they're dealing with the fact that they're not the most important woman in that person's life anymore.
That is just so messed up.
That's psychologically where it comes from. And that is why a lot of mother-in-laws, you hear a lot of like horror stories in that, and it is a really common thing to happen.
That is insane. It makes you feel gross inside.
I hope you don't ever have to deal with something like that. But I think a lot of dealing with something like that comes from functionally the partner that you're with, doesn't even have to be a husband, right? Just the person that you're with, also setting those boundaries of what is a family thing and what is a relationship thing. And I would feel like I was not a team with my fiance if they did something like this to me.
Yeah, I'd be like, do you even love me? Come on. Is it possible to change the honeymoon to your second choice and surprise your now husband on the way to the airport?
Could you imagine? I feel like if he's had that kind of reaction, he would not like that.
That's exactly what I thought. And I thought that's where you get divorced.
That's why you
right
need to be
away.
on the right page.
You do need to be on the right page.
OP said as long as the dates are the same, he would be good. He said that he was good with wherever.
No, but the parents didn't book before them. The fiance doesn't care about the location. He might just care about the parents being there.
Yeah, because he's saying as long as the date's the same, he'd be good. He said that he was good with wherever, and that made me happy. So he's not too fussed about where it is. There was only one place he particularly wanted to go, which I was on board with too, but we can't go there because of external issues. But after that, he was okay with wherever. So I'm positive it's possible. I'm really hoping I don't have to though. But again, I feel like you're not understanding the issue here. If you're saying, oh yeah, I'm good with wherever, you can change the location. The fact is, you shouldn't have to.
No, but I think that was before they booked the honeymoon. So then he might have been. But now he might not be because his parents are coming there.
See, I feel like you're coming to this with the idea that he actively wants his parents there. I think he doesn't actively want to, but he doesn't want to confront them about it more.
Fair. I feel like either could be a possibility. Yeah.
And both of them are problematic. Both of those are very problematic, and you need to work that out with your husband.
Impressive garlic.
For sure. What?
That's the OP's using it.
Oh. Best of luck to you, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa. Drama. All right, this final submission is coming from a Peach. So someone from our 1-800-DRAMA subreddit. A reminder to anybody listening or watching today, if you want to go and take a look at the subreddit yourself, you absolutely can. You can become a member. You can help other people out with their advice. You can cross-post if there are specific posts on other places that you want us to explore on the podcast.
It is popping.
Or you can even submit your own drama submission.
That is very cool.
So go and help a fellow Peach out, you know, or ask for help yourself.
I just realised I really like peaches.
A cute little community. I like peaches too. No, but that's fine.
Okay, so
it was a very worthy interruption. I also like peaches.
They're so juicy. They're lovely. Am I the drama for refusing to participate in a religious work project? What work project is religious?
Well, let's see. OP is 20 years old and says, I'm currently volunteering at a theatre in Germany as a gap year after school. In the upcoming spring break, my colleagues are planning to do a project surrounding topics of revolution and reformation in cooperation with a local church. Together with young adults, they'll write a play, which will then be presented at the German Day of the Church in May. Because I'm a volunteer, the theatre can deploy me to do any projects, and normally I have to do them with no questions asked.
That just sounds
wrong.
Kill someone, no questions asked.
If you're volunteering, it seems a bit harsh, but I can understand why, if you're in a work role, you just need to take on the projects that are at work.
Fair.
I'm intrigued. So my colleagues want me to help with this specific project. However, I feel very uncomfortable about topics of religion and church, and I really don't want to do the project since I feel like I disrespect their work. I very openly criticise the Christian church, and only stepping into one makes me uncomfortable. I can't explain why. I just come from a very religious family and I quit the church when I was a teenager.
That explains why.
That explains why. There is something called religious trauma. I would recommend you take a look into it. Understanding that was a very healing journey for me personally. I can totally see why you would be uncomfortable. My colleagues say that I shouldn't focus on the fact that it's a religious context, but rather on the topics of revolution and resistance that are more universal, which is true, but it's still their inspiration. And the starting point will be Thomas Müntzer, a famous Protestant reformer, which is clearly a religious context. I know that this is not primarily my personal choice since it is a work project, and as I am part of the theatre, I should just do it, but I really don't want to. So am I the drama for refusing, or should I just get over it? There is an edit here as well. OP said, I should mention that I work at a state theatre, which means that the theatre doesn't cooperate with the church per se. It's just this specific project that is in cooperation with a church.
I would say, again, similar to the first story, dude, don't do anything you're not comfortable doing. I would wonder though, if you're volunteering, if it means a lot, then maybe if you ask them, I don't want to be part of this project, but obviously you guys are going to be working on this a lot. Is there anything else I can do so I'm not wasting my time here by just sitting around and saying, I'm not going to do this project, I'm just going to sit and do nothing.
Could there be an alternative?
Exactly. If you would mind helping with things like props and backdrops, like nothing to do with the actual religious side of things or the script or being in it, do you reckon it would still be, unless you're making like flipping Jesus's crib?
That's the point, right? I guess that it's still working on a project that is religious. This is really interesting.
Well, I know someone who's very religious. We both know someone who's very religious. And I know that they would never do anything that would compromise that. And very strict rule. And I don't see how it can apply.
You know what? That is a really fair point. I feel like both of us, we have to acknowledge as well, we are both of a position where we have been affected by religious restrictions, right?
Restrictions,
that we didn't necessarily agree with. And so we both have a view of feeling somewhat uncomfortable to do with heavy religion because we've both had it used against us.
Absolutely.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. So what you're saying is if a religious person couldn't do something because it was against their religion,
they don't.
So why does it not apply
to a non-religious person? Yeah, it should absolutely apply.
I totally agree with that. I know this is going to sound really trivial in comparison, and this is not meant to trivialize your situation. I was watching an episode of The Apprentice.
Yes.
Right? And on there was a Muslim person.
Yes.
Who they were doing like a corporate away day type thing. And she was like, okay, because you're doing alcohol, because they were organising a wine tasting. She was like, I can't take part in that. And they were like, cool, we're going to put you on the other team.
Yes, absolutely. I remember that. Yeah. And that was, I think, really nice way of including someone without making them go against what they believe in.
Absolutely. Yeah. As you were saying, the theatre should, because of your connotations and beliefs, be able to do something separate. I guess, like, if you were made at work, so Nadia's, like, really clever. Her job is essentially creating projects. You're a coder.
Yeah, software engineer,
Software engineer. So if you were to work on a project that you didn't necessarily agree with, do you know what I mean? Say they were like, here is a military project because I used to work in a computer science department where I could not believe some of the projects that were coming through. One of them was an AI piece of software that would be able to distinguish specifically based on whether someone was a person of colour.
Yeah.
And I was like, why in a military reason does this need to exist?
Yes.
This is disgusting to me.
I have, like, during, like, my education and stuff, we have covered cases where people have denied making things, saying that this goes against my belief, and they've been fired and they've been, completely got rid of. And that's really sad to see because someone shouldn't be, lose everything just because of something that they don't believe in, they have to go against. And that's sad.
We're technically supposed to be covered in this by law.
Technically.
Because, religious discrimination is not allowed. I wonder how much that stems to non-religious.
Yeah. I feel like
it
important.
Should. Exactly, in the exact same way. But you're right. I definitely think what sounds idealistic is you shouldn't be forced to do this if you don't want to. But the perhaps more realistic consequence is if you do that, there may be a chance that it could risk your gap year experience, which of course you don't want to.
If they kick you out for not doing that, hopefully you could find work experience elsewhere. Because for a gap year as well, you don't have to do one thing. Like, as long as you can prove that it's suitable for your year and that you're learning something, you can go elsewhere.
I think that's really great practical advice. It still sucks that this needs to be a consideration.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess if we were to put this something else, if it was a political project that you didn't want to partake in, would you be allowed to say in any kind of work context, no, I don't want to do that?
No, I always found debating, like, I like debating certain things. I'm like, oh, you know what, I should be on, like, the debate team or something. But what I found really hard about debating and being a lawyer is that I can never argue things that I don't believe in. If someone's done something wrong, I cannot argue that you are right. Like, I can't. So even really tiny things like that, I will never be able to do something that I don't truly believe is right.
So what's your badge in this situation?
Not the drama at all.
I would agree. I also do not think that you are the drama. I think it's totally fine that you're uncomfortable, and I don't think we should ever be made to do things in a work setting that makes us feel uncomfortable because of personal characteristics.
I'm so sorry. I did notice that OP actually said that they do openly criticize the Christian church and religion. So as long as that's happening in a very peaceful way and it's not being offensive,
right? That's like
rude.
You personally, and you're not saying that to your colleagues.
Exactly.
Just like you have a right to not be religious, they have a right to be religious.
Just checking that that's not going to include any assholeness seeping through the badge.
Yes, we don't want any asshole leaking. You know, no drama leakage here. And because this is a relatively new post on the 1-800-DRAMA subreddit, we actually don't have any comments to go through on this one. But Peaches listening, if you would like to help out this commenter, you can absolutely do so. Just a tiny reminder as well, if you're submitting an Am I the Drama like this, please take a look at the rules on the side, because it would be wonderful to be able to have an identifier and things like pronouns if you're happy to share them, so that we can help you out as easiest as possible. Woo! What do you think today? Was that a particularly spicy one?
It was very political.
It was.
It was.
We had 2 weddings and a religion, and I feel like all of those are kind of like hard touching topics.
I feel like you could probably debate on it for hours and hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wishing you the best of luck though, Peaches. If you enjoyed this episode and you're listening on a podcast platform, please do rate the podcast. You can do that on every single episode, as well as the podcast overall. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And definitely check out Nadia's platform. I'm really hoping we can get you to 1,000, babe. You're close.
We'll get there.
You're close. You're really close.
Yeah.
Can you give us any sneak peeks as to what's going on in your episode that we're going to film?
In our episode, we're going to be looking at Am I the Devil?
Are they spicy as this? Spicier?
Oh, they are spicy. They're spicier. So if you want to see both of us freak, come check out the one on my channel, which should be up on the same day.
For now, we will love you and leave you. Be kind.
And have a great day. I don't know if you can see it.
To those of you listening on the podcast, Nadia is puffing out her chest because her top says, have a great day.
Yeah.
It's not because she wants you to see her 6 boobs.
Yes.
Drama.